this is not gonna be easy.
Okay, I think we survived the hardest part, but I am really not looking forward to coming down.
We're Jess and Miles. In 2019, we quit our jobs to pursue a dream of long-term travel around the world. After traveling in Australia and Southeast Asia for 6 months, we were forced back home in March because of COVID-19. We are now back on the road and are so excited to be exploring more of the United States. We just drove over 1,400 miles from Georgia to Colorado, and we are starting out with 2 amazing days in Rocky Mountain National Park.
It's our first weekend here in Colorado, and we are so excited to be exploring the park. We have a couple of great hikes planned for this weekend. With over 300 miles of trails in the park, it's really hard to choose, but today we're going to be doing Sky Pond, and from my research, this is one of the most popular hikes here.
It was a super early morning. We woke up at 3 a.m. and had an hour-and-a-half drive from Boulder to the Glacier Gorge Trailhead, and we got so lucky with parking. When we first pulled up to the parking lot, we thought it was full, but we got the last spot in the parking lot right down at the end. I cannot believe we got that lucky.
We've been on the trail for about an hour now. It was pretty chilly when we first got started this morning, but it warmed up really quick after we got moving, and the sun has risen now. It is absolutely a beautiful day. So Rocky Mountain National Park is currently doing a timed entry system due to COVID, and it costs $2 per time, and you have to apply online beforehand. And the only time slot we could get for today was at noon, which is definitely not ideal for a 10-mile hike. But what we didn't realize is that this only applies between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. So if you enter the park before 6, you don't need a reservation. So that was mostly the reason for our early morning today, and also why we assume that the parking lot was so full at 4:45.
We're about 2 miles in and we just turned off to head up towards Sky Pond. This hike is about 9.5 miles total. We're feeling pretty good so far. We're just taking it slow, but a lot of the elevation gain is still to come.
We have made it to the lock, and we are going to take a quick break and check it out. We think we're headed that way, and it looks like we have a ways to go. So we have just caught our first glimpse of Timberline Falls, and this is the part of the trek that I have been anticipating the most. We have to rock scramble about 100 feet up the side of the falls, and I gotta be honest, it looks a lot worse in person than what I had envisioned in my mind.
All right, here we go. This is the worst part. Hey baby, I'm gonna come help you.
Okay, I think we survived the hardest part, but I am really not looking forward to coming down.
We've made it up to Glass Lake, and I think we've earned ourselves a break and a snack. Final push up to Sky Pond.
We've come all this way, so we had to come a bit further to the backside of the lake so we could get this view. I feel like we came up quite a ways to get to this point, and these mountains around us are still so tall. It is so beautiful here.
This really is a special place, and I'm so glad we came to the far side of the lake, but it's time to start heading back down.
Down we go. Trying to work up the courage to go down the waterfall, but we're gonna put the camera away. We made it down the hard part, but that was no joke. I was too busy worrying about the rock scramble before to even notice how beautiful this waterfall is.
Still got a long way to go before we're back to the car.
It is Sunday, day 2 for us in Rocky Mountain National Park. It was another early morning for us today, and we have another fun hike planned.
We're hiking to Chasm Lake, which is also on the east side of the park. It starts at the Longs Peak Trailhead, which is the only 14,000 footer in the park, so the parking lot is pretty busy. It was full when we got here, but luckily they allow street parking, so it wasn't an issue. We're We're starting at about 9,400 feet, and the hike's a little over 9 miles today.
These first couple of miles are in the trees, so it's nice and shady, but we have over 2,000 feet of elevation gain today, so I know the shade's not gonna last long.
And we were pretty beat after our hike yesterday, but we got some good sleep last night and we're ready to go today. This trail's not too steep, but it's pretty consistently uphill, and I am dripping sweat. We're probably only 1.5 miles in. Whew. The trees are really starting to thin out. Looks like we're coming to the end of the tree line, so we're gonna take a break to have a snack while we still have a little bit of shade.
We're a little over 2 miles in and we have just reached the tree line. We are at 10,760 feet, which is about as high as we had made it yesterday, and we still have nearly 1,000 feet to climb.
Even though this is another lake hike, it feels so different than our hike yesterday to Sky Pond. We're way up here in the tundra and we've got 360-degree views of these mountains. As always, Jess is leading the way.
You know, when you're so focused on just putting one foot in front of the other, it is really hard to have an appreciation on how far you've come until you get a look back and you can see how tiny the people are who are coming up and just how far we've made it. But we still have a ways to go.
With COVID, the park rules require you to have a mask on if you can't separate off of the trail. Up here in the tundra, that's really not been a problem at all. But yesterday we were taking our masks on and off a ton because it was super popular and pretty narrow in a lot of places.
We're finally breaking off from Long's Peak Trail. I can definitely see why you're supposed to start early to do Long's Peak, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks really daunting.
We've hit the final stretch of the hike. We're coming up on Peacock Pools and Columbine Falls, and this is really a much needed flat section here.
This view is amazing. So we went to bed around 8 o'clock last night because we were so worn out from yesterday's hike. And I'm not gonna lie, it was really tough to set another early morning alarm with the mindset of doing yet another 10-mile hike today. All I know is I would be so sad if we missed this hike. This is truly amazing and we're not even there yet.
This flat section has been really nice, but we've got one final little section of bouldering before we make it up to Chasm Lake.
At least we don't have to climb up a waterfall today.
Up we go. We get to start this final climb at over 11,600 feet. So this is not gonna be easy. How you feeling?
Good. Almost there. We made it.
We had planned to do a picnic lunch up here just like yesterday, but we got a little bit of a later start today, and we definitely want to make it down to the tree line before the afternoon storms come in. So we're just gonna have a quick snack up here before we head down to the trees.
Pretty awesome place for a snack. Time to head down. I really don't want to leave, but it's 50% chance of rain this afternoon. It's already 11:40 and the clouds are building, so we gotta go.
All right, we've made it into the trees and now it's time for lunch.
Another day, another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Only a little smushed.
We've got about 2 miles back to the car, and this hike has been absolutely amazing. It's really tough to pick a favorite between yesterday's hike to Sky Pond and the hike today. They're both great hikes with incredible lake views, but something about being right at the base of the tallest mountain in the park gives the edge to Chasm Lake for me.
Not to take away from Sky Pond by any means. Sky Pond is an amazing hike, and if you're coming to Rocky Mountain National Park, you should definitely try to do both. But Chasm Lake would have to win for me too, just by a little bit.
A big plus for me on this one is the fact that they allow you to park along the street, which takes a lot of the pressure off of getting here before 5 in the morning like we did at Sky Pond.
Back to the car just in time. Soggy, smushed peanut butter and jelly.
Got a little turned around, so now we get to climb over some snow.
That's slippery.
Just use your poles.
But
You got it. Talking to the camera at 11,000 feet while walking up the trail isn't exactly easy.